けてく夜明けにこれが最後の願いね Let's go!
Struggle bus. Struggle bus. Let's see. Let's move that. This is going to be my vlogging reading update. I am reading all of these books right now at the same time. I am kind of book jumping intensely and I can't really read anything. I'm not too focused on one genre, so I'm kind of just jumping between genres. And I'm missing one book over here. I'm missing Inferno's Heir, which... movie magic. It's right there. The Burning God by R.F. Kuang. I love R.F. Kuang. My favorite book last year, 2024, was Yellowface. And I love The Poppy War. I love the first and the second book. But I realized with these books, I have been reading them passively. So when I remember them, I remember the scenes that I absolutely loved. But when I read them, I remember that in order to get to the scenes that I loved in The Poppy War and in the second book. What was the second book? But in order to get to those scenes, I have to get to the rough scenes. Like, I have to get through the rough scenes. But, like, when she cooks, she cooks. And my favorite book last year from R.F. Kuang was Yellowface. And I can't wait for Calabasas. That's going to be an interesting read. And then I also have to read Babel. So I can't wait to finish those. But this has been... I've been struggling. I still love you, R.F. Kuang. I still love the Poppy War. And I still like the Dragon Republic. I just remembered it. But I am struggling. A Broken Blade. This is giving Throne of Glass fan fiction, but you know, it's as if somebody said they were reading Throne of Glass and they were like, for one, this is a problematic author. I need to fix this. Let me write a fanfic. And for two, the assassin in Throne of Glass is not assassinating. So I need to write an assassin that's actually going to get shit done. So I have mixed feelings about this book because I'm really liking it through the assassin perspective. And this is what I wanted from Throne of Glass, but I didn't get from Throne of Glass. And it's interesting to see kind of like a similar plot. And I know SJM didn't invent, we got to kill the king plot, but like revenge against the king. And it's giving she's a lost born something. That's kind of what I can formulate from this plot. And I'm excited to keep reading, but I was like, okay, let's book jump, because it got to a point where I was just like, you know, I'm getting a little bored right now. There's one character. I think his name is Nicholas? Nikolai? E. coli? I don't know. E. coli is my favorite character right now. Nikolai... Nicholas, Nick, I don't know. I think it's one of those names. He is my favorite character in this book so far, and we just met him, and I'm loving him, and not even the main character that might be the love interest. That I don't even know if he's going to be the love interest, because literally everybody's giving love interest, and like every person that this main character meets, I'm like, yeah, I want you to be with them. So maybe there's going to be multiple love interests, or maybe I just want a polyamorous book where the love interest just, she gets with everybody. Maybe that's me. I'm the problem. So I had to book jump from this, and A Spell for Heart Sickness. I don't know. I don't know. Everybody has told me that I'm supposed to love this. So, if everybody has told me that I'm supposed to love this, I love it so much. Thank you, everybody. You guys really know my reading taste. No shame though. No shame. It's there's aspects of this that I love, the cozy vibes, the magic vibes. The magic is cool. Um, I just, it's a little too cozy for me. It's a little too slow burn for me. And I'm kind of tired of slow burn era. And I don't want instant love, but I do want some kind of like moderate love where it's just like, it's not slow burn, but it's not insta love. But even insta love, I can forgive if there are some storyline elements like, oh yeah, we've been together in a past life, or yeah, oh we have known each other before, but you have memory loss. I can forgive those insta loves, but I don't. I like the main character. I like the characters, but no. Okay, I lied a little. No, the main character is kind of fucking annoying. He is fucking annoying, but the other main character, the hot beefy guy on the cover, I'm like, okay, okay, okay. This hot beefy guy can demolish me at any point, and I'm completely fine with that. But it's the twink. The twink is kind of annoying me. The twink. Okay, we figured it out. No offense to twinks. Y'all are amazing. Y'all are doing community service. You guys are part of the community. You guys are valid. Your experience is valid. But this particular twink is annoying me. But that's all I gotta say about that book. This book, I am loving. It's cute. It's fluffy. It's the right amount of romance. Like, it's right there. But I have been feeling about the whole a certain app getting banned. And I have been reading this slowly, and I have been enjoying it thoroughly. And I can't wait until they get together. And I've been loving this one. But like I said, my brain is not in one space right now. And this is just a pure full on romance. And I know they're going to get together, and maybe that's an aspect of it too, where I'm just like, I already know how it ends. I already know you guys get together, and I know you guys fuck. But I need a little bit more surprise. I need a little bit more like, pizzazz. I need a little bit more like, not slow burn, but moderate burn. But like, this is a moderate burn, but I'm also very much, it's me. I'm the problem. In this one, I am the problem. In this scenario, I am the problem because this is a really good book, but I am just like, it's me. I'm the problem. I am the problem in this scenario. With these other three books, I will say that this one I feel like could have been cut down a little. This book, it could have been paced out a little bit better, but it's interesting. And then with this book, I don't. The Darkness Outside Us, this has been my consistent read. I keep coming back to this one, and I keep hearing it in snippets. This is giving like outer space horror, a little bit of alien, AI's gone rogue, people trapped on a spacecraft. And I had a little alien phase last year where I was just going through all the alien movies, and I absolutely fucking love the alien movies. And that's what this is giving. And this is kind of like alien adjacent, where it's not really dealing with a monster, but it is dealing with like AI and being trapped in a ship and having to survive that and trying to look for somebody. I don't want to be a dick. I got really excited to read this one. This is Death of the Author. I'm not completely done. This is Death of the Author, and it has a different title because this is the book inside the bookception. This book is supposed to be about a disabled author who they write a book, and the narrative kind of escapes them, and the narrative gets turned against them. And I'm reading it, and I'm enjoying the story, and I'm reading it chapter by chapter. And this is one that I have on my Fable book club. And like I said, I am enjoying this, but I'm also kind of bored. like, I don't know how to describe that. Like, it's giving when you just passively watch a TV show, like you have it on in the background and you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're doing stuff, you just need noise, and that's the noise. And every once in a while, you like tune in and you're like, oh, that got to an interesting point. And that's what this has been giving, where it's been like, okay, interesting, interesting. And the themes that it's exploring are cool. And some of the story plots that it's exploring are cool, but I get kind of bored every once in a while. So like if this was a TV show, I would just have it on in the background. I'd be cooking, cleaning, doing whatever I really needed to do, but like not fully immersed. And like this one, I'm not fully immersed, versus this one, it feels like I'm on a spacecraft. So like I said, number one, top read from all my book jumps. This one has been my top read. My other book jumps, I'm struggling. I'm struggling. And this one doesn't even deserve it. This one does not deserve to get book jumped. This one doesn't. So why am I book jumping it? Why am I book jumping it? Because I'm the problem. In this case, I will defend this and I will say I am the problem. In this case, I know the author cooked, and I love this book so much that I'm taking it slowly, because there's also a second book. But what I tend to do is, when I really like a book, I'll like speed through it, and then by the end of it, I don't want to read anything else for a month, and I don't want to get to the end of this and not be able to read anything for the rest of the month, because as you can see, I have a pile. I have a pile of books I have to get through. Um Living Legend, I have been taking this one slowly. This reminds me of a TV show. Not one that you turn on in the background, but one that's released episode by episode weekly. And the story arc that it has lends itself to be more of a TV show than a movie. Whereas this book can be released into a movie format and it would work perfectly fine. This book, if it were released in movie format, they would have to cut a lot. So this is giving more TV show. So I read this every once in a while, like if it's a TV show and the new episode has released for that week, and I read it and I'm like, okay, cool. I like that. I like that week's episode. Or there's one chapter I'm like, nothing really happened that week episode. So I've been slowly reading it. I'm at the 50% mark, kind of. And I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying the character banter. I've been enjoying everything about this book. It is a little bit of slow burn, and like I said, I'm not in my slow burn era anymore, and I've been slowly burned by many books before, and this is one where I will blame myself, because it's not the story, it's me, because the characters are really well written. The world is beautiful, and everything I can picture in my head, and this would work so well as a TV show. Like I said, I am the problem, and I've been slowly reading this specifically because it's more of a TV show format, and the the fact that this should have been traditionally published. This should have been traditionally published, and so should have been this whole series. Like, this whole series deserves to be traditionally published, and I don't understand why like it hasn't been picked up. There's so many books that have been picked up by publishers through TikTok, and there are a few books where I don't understand why it hasn't been traditionally published. Another book that I'm surprised that it hasn't been traditionally published is Blood and Brujas by Michaela D. Hornado, and her other series, Cookstyle Academy. She co-wrote that with Nell Nicole, and Nell Nicole also has a book series that I'm surprised it hasn't been picked up by traditional publishing, which is Rising. And Blood and Brujas is basically this witch is on a battlefield. She gets knocked out by the opponent. Her mom sells her out to the opponent while she's knocked out, and now she has to kind of save her kingdom by working with the opponent. Rising is, think if like a nuclear war happened, and blah, 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 my brain went. Imagine a nuclear war happened, and everybody either turns into a zombie or they turn into a superhuman being, and now they're kind of living in this limbo state where they have to survive against the zombies, but they also have to survive against other factions that have popped up throughout the country, basically. And like I said, those books work really well in like a TV format. They wouldn't really work well in a movie format, but I'm surprised they haven't been picked up by traditional publishing. And I am surprised this hasn't been picked up by traditional publishing. Like, this deserves to be picked up by traditional publishing. Blood and Brujas deserves to be picked up by traditional publishing. Rising deserves to be picked up by traditional publishing. I want to see TV shows. I'm sorry, I got a little bit too much saliva in my mouth. I got a little too excited, so I got a little bit too much saliva in my mouth. But yeah, those books deserve to be traditionally published, specifically because they deserve to be TV shows. Yeah, that's where I'm leaving that. But yes, like I said, this is another one where I'm the problem. This book isn't the problem. This is TV format. And I feel like I rambled too much with that. Da, da, da. I just picked it. I shouldn't be doing this. I started this today. A sources comes to call. I'm slowly trying to work through my NetGalley requests from last year. I requested a lot of books through NetGalley, and I didn't finish them. I did not finish them. Either because I was just kind of going through it. There was too many books in that month. There was too much to do in that month, and I had requested the book. And my problem is that I'm very much a mood reader, and when I request a book, I'm like, please let me get this book. And since I have such a low percentage through my NetGalley, what ends up happening to me is I'll request a book, I'll be really excited to read it, then it doesn't come in and they approve my request by the time the book is released, and I'm like, why would you approve my request now? The book is out. Like, stop. Like, I wanted this request before the book came out when I was excited, and then you approved me right as the book is coming out. So now I feel forced to read the book now that it's out. And I know I can cancel my request, but at the same time I was just like, it's one of those things that keeps happening to me on NetGalley. And then I finally stopped requesting stuff on NetGalley because now they're just denying me outright. And like I said, it was a consistent problem that was happening last year, and now now I'm just left with a bunch of books that I have to read and trying to get through. But I have been finding some really good reads through going through all those books. And some of those books were books that I did want to read at the time. And every once in a while, I am finding myself going through the mood of wanting to read them. And I have one book that I haven't read yet. But when I had picked it up, I was in the mood for, and I was super fucking excited for, like, the whole series, Trials of the Sun Queen. I got through those books, and then I read Rule of the Aurora King, and I'm on the last book. And I requested that from NetGalley, and I was super excited to read that. And then I kind of fell out of the mood. But I that's my fault. That is my fault. But A Sorceress Comes to Call. This book has been really interesting. I am on page 32 of 325, and I have been enjoying this a lot, and I think that I'm going to continue to read this one and this one in tandem. Both of these books have been my consistent reads. I love space books, and I love books about like witches and shit like that, and this is giving like Rapunzel but make it witchy, and I've been thoroughly enjoying these two books right now, so these have been at the top of my list. This one is my book club read, so I'm gonna have to continue to read this one, and I'm hoping that this one gets better. I'm hoping Death of the Author gets better. If not, then it is gonna be a me problem, and it might just not be my thing. And these other ones, I'm gonna keep trying with the Burning God because that's RF Kong, and I love her. I love her. I'm gonna keep trying with the Broken Blade because this has been entertaining for the most part. I'm going to keep trying with the Spell for Heart Sickness because I just want to know how it ends. And I know people are like, well, just DNF a book if you don't want. I just want to know the ending. I I I can't DNF books most of the time. Mistletoe and Mishkas. This one, as soon as I'm in the mood for it, I'm a barrel through it and just watch. I'm gonna post a review, and then it's gonna be like, yeah, see, I was the problem. And same thing with this one. As soon as I'm done with this one, I am gonna post a review for it. And yeah, so that's where I'm at with this reading update, and then I'll come back as soon as I'm done with most of the books. Have a good day, everybody, or well, we'll see, because I keep reading. Can I keep reading? Get ready. Oh. So it's been a couple of days, and I've finished a few of the books that I was reading, and I was 100% correct about two of the books. That I was just tired. I needed to sleep a little bit more, and then I would feel better about reading again. Mistletoe and Mishkas. I absolutely love this. I devoured it. Like the moment that I got to like maybe I could actually see the highlights. 69 pages. I started highlighting, and I absolutely fucking adored this, and I jumped right into the third book, which is Napkins and Other Distractions. And as you guys can see, I have it on my phone ready to go. I'm listening to it, and I'm actually on chapter 13. I have 2 hours and 49 minutes left, with it being at 2.0 speed. I usually just read books at 2.0 speed. If it's anything lower, then I kind of get distracted and I stop reading. But yeah, this was totally me. I was really tired. I got back into it. I loved it. 5 out of 5. Would recommend this entire series. I love this one a lot. And I'm liking the third one too. The third one is a little bit more fast paced. But I like this one a lot because I like myself I like burlier men, and I like bigger men, and Theo is definitely he's that burly. He's that burly man, you know what I mean? And then I finished Inferno's Heir. I have mixed feelings about this where I loved the ending and I loved the beginning. There was a middle area where I did not like it, and I feel like this book could have been a little bit bigger, and there was a lot going on in the middle. But once I got to the ending, I understood why I did not like the middle, and I had this moment where I was like, oh, I've just been played. So this was definitely a 4 out of 5. I did think that the ending saved it. This was going to be a 3, but then the ending like turned it around and saved it a lot, by a lot. And that's crazy to me how like endings of books can actually like raise the star rating a lot. I think the only thing this was really missing was more powers, more world building. I definitely wanted to explore more, and I know this is going to be a series, but yeah, I enjoyed this. I would definitely pick up the second book. I am definitely picking up the second book because I need to know what happens. This would work better as a movie, I think, not necessarily a TV show. It works well as a book, but I think as a movie it would work really well to be able to show how everything's done. I don't want to spoil too much, but yeah. If you can pick this one up and read it, it's a quick read. And if you like Avatar The Last Airbender and you want like a point of view from Azula's perspective where she's trying to be the good guy and Zuko's the bad guy, then this would be a good book to pick up. I thoroughly fucking enjoyed this. but I also had, like I said, I had a moment there where there was a middle section where I was just like, but I enjoyed the beginning politics and I enjoyed the ending. So the beginning and the ending really saved it, but I do think that this could have used a little bit more world building, a little bit more world exploration, a little bit more powers, and it would have been better. And that's how I felt with, there's a book that I read earlier this month. What was it? The Hurricane Wars. The Hurricane Wars took me a minute to read, and I think that one was definitely a 3-star, and that one needed more world building, like a lot more. Like it just needed way more world building. It needed more action, and the pacing just was not there for me. The Darkness Outside Us. This was another 5-star read for me. I knew the moment that I would get back into this, I would absolutely fucking love this shit, and I love it. I started a minute of the audiobook and I was like, okay, not now. So I got back into that. Not right now is not the time to read it, but I definitely love this. This was giving some aspects of Resident Evil 3 the movie that I wanted them to explore through the Resident Evil world, and they really didn't. But then in this book, I finally got that like exploration of some things in Resident Evil 3 that I didn't get. And I was like, wow, like who knew that I really needed, and like it came full circle where I was like, I didn't get it in Resident Evil 3, but I got it in this book. And it's also giving like alien vibes where you have the alien that is kind of stalking these survivors or these people that are trying to survive, but instead of the alien, it's an AI system that's trying to these people. So this was definitely a new favorite. I fell in love with these two characters. I fell in love with this world, and I devoured it. I got back into this. I think I was at page 80. And after page 80, after they set everything up, everything started to kind of unravel. And as everything starts to unravel, I was like, oh, high speed ahead. So then I devoured this after getting like 90 pages in, 80 pages in. And it's completely worth it. Like the setup and everything. This would be a good reread book. This is a good reread book because this is another one where, like this one, there are a lot of like Easter eggs, a lot of foreshadowing as to what is going to happen. And then when it happens, you're just like, wait a fucking minute. So there's a lot of foreshadowing in this book. There's a lot of like explorations of themes of loneliness, of like just existential themes. Like, would you be able to continue to live life if you knew that you were potentially just meant to do like, oh, and I can't get into spoilers, but it's like, it's very existential. It's like, could you continue to live life if you knew that your only purpose in life was to do one certain thing? So let me try to use an example. So like, let's say if you were to, like, you personally, if you knew that your only purpose in life was to fix toilets, was to fix a spaceship, would you be okay with that? Would you be okay with living and living on? And would you not go crazy? Would you not have existential dread because of that? And like, let's say fixing things where it's just like you're just doing that for the rest of your life. Just that's your only purpose. That's the only thing you're gonna do. And anytime you have off time, you're supposed to be doing that one thing. Would you be willing to get into that? And would you be willing to continue to survive in this world if that's all you were really meant to do? And it's just, it kind of fucks with your brain, and then them being in space trapped alone together, and then This book is just so complex, and I wish I could get more into it, and I feel like I'd get into it when I do like a full gushing raving review that has spoilers, because then I could just like get into this, because I want to be able to do like a review one day with this where it's just like, okay, let me do a review first part of the book, and then the second part of the video is just like gushing review where just I could go all in, because this is one of my new favorite books, and it's definitely going onto the favorite shelf, which I'm going to show you here in a second. Give me a sec. That's the favorite shelf with all the favorite books I've ever read. All that. And it's definitely going on there. I definitely have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 books left in my rotation that I still have to read. I am going to finish reading this one by February. This is my January to February book club read that I have going on. My friend suggested that I should do a book club, and I was like, I mean, sure, I'll do it. Because like I do this thing where like I kind of lose attention on books, and like I stop reading books sometimes, and then I come back to them. And I realized that maybe I just need a month to read books, and then I'll come back to them within that month. And I can definitely push through a book, and I'm 21 chapters into this one, and I love the setup, but I think I just have to trust it and where it's going. I feel like these last few pages, the author is really gonna like dive in and kind of hone in the message by like hitting the jugular, like, here it is. And I'm gonna love it eventually, and I hope I love it, because I think this one is gonna be my 5-star read. But if it isn't, I got a pretty book out of it. I got a pretty book out of it. I still have A Sorceress Comes to Call. That one I was starting to like. I read a chapter of Broken Blade this morning. 2 chapters actually, and I got a little bit further. I still feel like nothing is really happening. A Spell for Heart Sickness. Living Legend. I still need to do my weekly chapter read for that one. And The Burning God by R.F. Kuang. I need to do my weekly chapter read for that one as well. Other than that, I come to you with the update that I absolutely love these books, and I need to do reviews for them. The 2 that I would absolutely recommend are The Darkness Outside Us and Mistletoe and Mishkas, because these are both really cute in their own way. If you want more space adventure cute, then I would do The Darkness Outside Us. If you want more gay romance, low stakes, kind of like slice of life, this one, because this is just gay romance, and I loved it. I devoured it. I just devoured it. Well, until next time. So, these are the books that I have kind of lightly discontinued. Actually, these are the books that I am still reading. I am currently in and out of Living Legend, and I have been reading a chapter or 2 here and there for Death of the Author. Death of the Author still has me interested, and Living Legend still have me interested. For my light DNFs, where I will be coming back to occasionally, I have these ones. I think I'm gonna come back to this very soon. So I would put this in the pile with Living Legend. But A Broken Blade, A Spell for Heart Sickness, and The Burning God, I am lightly DNFing. I think I'll pick these up eventually. Sometime here and there. I think Burning God, this one is really wordy for me. I think R.F. Kuang has gotten a lot better with being less wordy as you read more of her books, and as she has really honed in on her talent. And I feel like all the Poppy War books have been very wordy, and I've just been making excuses for them. A Spell for Heart Sickness. I just recently read a book with a plotline that was very similar, and I liked how that one was written. And I read this one, and it had a similar plot to the one that I just read, and I didn't necessarily like the main character in this book, but in the book that I just read, I really love the main character and the love interest. And in this book, I only love the love interest. And I think the book that I just read made me realize that I don't think I like this book. I don't know if this is going to be a light DNF. I don't know if this is going to be just a DNF in general. I don't think it's for me. I don't think, yeah. And like, it's sad to say because I saw the cover, I went to a cute bookstore, I picked this up, it was a diverse bookstore, and I was really excited to love it, and then I didn't. If you guys are wondering what my diva wig over here is, this is for my twisted scenes. I have my wigs and everything else on the bed, so my bed is a mess. This bed is a mess in particular. So I'm probably going to get back into this eventually because I want to know how this series ends. So like I said, this is a light DNF. This might just be a DNF, which I'm really sad about because I was really excited for this. And I don't know. I think I just don't like the main character. The main character is not fitting my vibe. You know what I mean? Broken Blade. This is a light DNF because it's very interesting, but it's also very not. Like, I feel like this could have been cut down a little. There's a lot of like filler areas. There's nothing really happening. People talking, people walking, people going places, people going and talking about politics that they've already talked about before. People kind of like, I don't know. This is another one where I like the main character, but it's too, the pacing is not there for me. So I finished last month. What did I finish? Let me look in my bookmark. So last month I had an M.A. Wardell phase. So I went through the rest of M.A. Wardell's catalog. Mistletoe, Mishkas, Napkins and Other Distractions, Marshmallow Mountain. I loved all of them. They were all amazing. 5 out of 5s. I finished Inferno's Air. I loved the beginning, the middle was weird, and then the ending was really good, and it kind of tied everything back in, but that was a 4 out of 5. I finished The Darkness Outside Us. That was a 5 out of 5. I finished that within 2 days, and that was because I was busy. If not, I probably would have finished it sooner. The Hurricane Wars, I finished at the beginning of the month, and I really did not like that book. It just was not for me. I don't think it was written for me in particular. Like, there are certain books, like The Darkness Outside Us, I'm just like, the little self-centered person in me is like, The Darkness Outside Us was written for me. That was for me. This little gay boy right here. But the Hurricane Wars, that was for somebody else. That was somebody else's calling. And the Hurricane Wars, like, it was giving Star Wars, but it was also giving no plot. It was giving very much all romantasy, and that's not bad. I love me a good fucking romantasy. The book that I just read that I was saying that is like an alternate version to this is romantasy, and I really fucking loved it, and that was a 5 out of 5. That's one of the first books I read this month, and that's the first book I gave 5 out of 5 stars to. I love me a good romantasy, but I feel like there has to be a point in romantasy where it can't just be all love, 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 love. Like you can't just introduce a plot and then just abandon it, and you just go, well, we'll just deal with that problem in the second book. And then the romance has been kind of developed, but it's like, it's at this point, I'm just kind of like, I don't even care about you guys being in love anymore. At first, I was like, ooh, I love the angst, because I love me some angst. But it got to a point where it was just like, this is too much angst. This is too much angst. This is too much. We're going to be together. We're not going to be together. And then, like, at some point, she just gets come clarity, and she's like, you know, he's the bad guy. I don't know if I want to be with him. And I'm like, you know what, sis? That's good for you for realizing that. Like, I approve of this message. But it's also very frustrating, because it's just like, it's too much. It's too much. It's too much romance. Like, it gets to a point where it's just like, y'all are in love, but now I need you guys to go on plot line adventures. It's giving Star Wars, but you guys aren't delivering the Star Wars part. I need the action. I need the adventure. I need the Star Wars. And it was not giving the Star Wars. It was not giving the Star Wars. It was giving Star Wars for a little, and then it was like, you know what? Fuck the plot line. Doesn't exist. Let's just keep loving each other. And I'm like, if this was advertised as just a romance, a contemporary romance, then I'd be fine with it. But since it's romance, I need a little bit more. You know what I mean? I got tidbits here and there, but it was just not it. So the books that I am going to be continuing, these books, I'm 100% getting back into these ones. I might force myself to read A Broken Blade, because I ended up buying the whole series. So I want to get my money's worth, and I do want to see if it gets better after this first one. Somebody said that after the first two, it gets a lot better. And you know, I've been down this road. I've been down this path where people are like, oh, you just got to read 10 books in the series, and then by the 15th book, you'll start enjoying it. And it's like, and I'm exaggerating, but you know, I'm really not. And I don't know if I'm going to like this one. And I don't know if I'm going to like this one either. And I think it's just like one of those things where the vibes don't match. Like, you know, when you meet a person and you're just like, yeah, we're never going to be friends. I feel like that with these books, where I'm just like, I don't think we're going to be friends. And that's okay. Because someone else can be your friend. You know what I mean? Somebody else can be your friend, so I don't have to be. That's somebody else's homework. These ones I'm definitely finishing. Death of the Author is like, it has me feeling two kinds of ways, where I'm just like, wow, this is good, this is weird, this is good, this is interesting messaging, and I'm liking this. But then it's also, I don't know, Living Legend, I am liking how the main character is simping for the demon. I think this one is a little bit longer though, and this one feels more like a TV show. So with the TV show setting, everything is drawn out and there's filler. So I feel like this would either be like an anime or a TV show. But yeah, the books that I did finish last month were Marshmallow Mountain, Napkins and Other Distractions, The Darkness Outside Us, Mistletoe and Mishkas. All those 4 were 5 out of 5 stars. So I had a really good 2 weeks where I was reading nonstop good fiction. And then my 4-star was Inferno's Heir. My 3-star was The Hurricane Wars, and those were the 6 books I read last month. I'm gonna send these books off to Noel in the future. I'm not gonna actually send them anywhere, but I'm gonna just give them to Noel in the future and let him deal with the next steps in this process of reading these. So the way that my brain works is that there's this constant rotation of books that I have, and usually in order to stop me from DNFing something, because I really do want to know the ending to some of these, I cycle through while I'm reading other books, and sometimes I get really fatigued of books, even if they're 5 stars. I'm like, okay, I need a second from this book. Let me get into something romantasy. Let me get to something fantasy. Let me get back into one of these that I was reading. And I do want to know the endings, so then I try to like barrel through it. And sometimes I'm surprised and I'm like, wow, I'm glad that I stuck through it because I ended up loving that series. And sometimes I stick through it and I'm like, yeah. So, this is Future Noel's problem. Have a good day.